I did not know I had to add that. I don't like this light. Hey guys. Hello. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. So, while I'm waiting for people to come in, let me see how this works. View on Facebook. Hmm. Hi, Danielle. Danielle. Hi, beautiful. Oh, these earrings are annoying. Hey, Cheryl. Gosh, I hear my dog and everything. Mm. Hello, Alice. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Everything is absolutely all good, Danielle. Thank you. I hope things are going well for you. Good morning, Beverly. Is it still morning where you're at? Yolanda, good morning. I'm trying to get a better idea. Trying to get a better idea. Trying to on how to manage this StreamYard, guys. Okay. Niagara, good morning. Hello. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hmm. I'm doing good. How are you, Niagara? Thanks for joining me again. Oh, Venus, thanks for joining me. Good morning from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I swear I mess up all kinds of names. Doreen, hello. Hello from Arkansas. Patsy. Um, yeah. It was very self-destructive to say the least from my perspective. Very self-destructive. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna get rid of these earrings because they're not treating me right and I need some stability on my earlobes. They have a white side that and I just can't. Pardon me, guys. You feel good all over, Niagara? Good. That's a good way to start the day, to start the week. Yeah, that's better. Can't see it too well, but these disc earrings, if you don't get them double sided, and I can't even see if you guys can even see anything. Anyway, if you don't get them double sided, it ain't worth it. Deborah said, good morning. Good morning, Deborah. I'm just waiting for some more people to come in. I'm trying to. Hold on, guys. You know, StreamYard is good, but when you're using this camera, I don't know. The camera always looks kind of off to me. Margaret says she acts like just a carrier. Oh, you're talking about the situation with Tay's mom. Yeah, I agree. Pinky, my cousin. Oh, hi, Pinky. I love you, Pinky. Cheryl, hey, Lena, is this going to address my topic or so? Oh, okay. You know what, Cheryl? We can definitely address the topic from last time. Absolutely. Let me look at my book. I'm sorry, it wasn't my plan, but it should have been my plan because I did promise you that we were going to address bullying. And we can absolutely touch on that. Let me just get to it in my little book. So, yes. So we were going to talk about how to deal with bullying, how to handle the trauma associated with cyberbullying. Absolutely. We can touch on that also. Yeah, we can touch on that also. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, that's my cousin Pinky. I love my family. We're going through so much right now, but we love each other. Emotionally, we love each other. We're always here for each other, my family and I. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for some more people to come in. If more people are going to come in, I don't know. What you guys got going on today? What you up to? What you up to? I see a lot of wallflowers watching. Lioness said hello. I don't want to miss anything. Linda, good morning from Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, Linda. Listen, Linda. Oh, you're just working? Oops. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Hello? Yes. I'm well, thank you. Okay, is there a number I can call you back on? Only because I'm in the middle of something right now, so I don't have I'm not free at the moment. Okay, what's the number? Mm-hmm. And what's your name? Okay, I'll give you a call back as soon as I'm done. All right, bye-bye. Whoop, sorry, guys. Oh, Pinky says she's working. Cynthia Solomon says she's working. Good morning. Oh, gosh. I got to learn how to pronounce your name. You know, I'm so bad with names, guys. Is the P silent in Shauna? I'm really is the P silent? I just need to know because I don't want to mess up your name. But in any case, let me know and good morning to you. Niagara, I'm at work driving and thinking of the million things I could get done today is what you meant. Okay. Okay. Oh, good afternoon, Nigel. Good afternoon. Nice to see ya. Everybody's calling me while I'm on this live. Venus, I'm laying in a hospital bed waiting for my next test. Oh my God, Venus, I hope everything is okay. Wow. Let me know if you need me. If you need anything, inbox me. Shell Creek says, I'm calling today. Oh, I'm chilling today. That's my retired life. I know how that feels. I just started watching Tay's mom video and I already know it's going to be ugly. So sad she could have talked to a therapist versus Facebook. Well, that's what unhealed trauma looks like. That's what unhealed pain look like. And I advise you not to even look at it because yeah, that's just, you can't even comprehend what could be going through a parent's mind when they do something like that to their child. And I don't think I want to understand. All I know is it has a lot to do with trauma. Also, she said the P is not silent. So Pashana, did I say it right? Pashana, let me know. Chica said, good morning, Chica. Thank you for joining me. Terry Lewis, good morning, leader. Whatever your family is going through, I pray it gets better. Yes, it will get better. We're stronger together. Not giving any specifics, but we're stronger together, and everything gets better. Thank you so much, though, for that thought. Good afternoon, says Sabrina. Good afternoon. Thank you. Oh, I hope everything is okay. Let me know if you need any encouragement. I'm big on that, Venus. Penny. Hi, Penny. My good friend Penny. I got to scratch my back, y'all. Woo. Hi, Penny. Sharon says trying to find a part-time job, been retired since 2007. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I said it right. Good. Pashana. That's okay, Penny. We just got out the group chat too. You did say you just woke up. Dion says hi, everyone. I love you too, Penny. Yeah. So I didn't have any specific agenda, even though the title did say an agenda. But the title of this particular live was called "Can the difference between pain and peace be a matter of perspective?" And I say absolutely yes. And the reason why I say that is for a few reasons. But before I get to that, let me just you guys know about Amanda, right? Amanda's amazing catering. Hold on, guys. Conversations with Amanda. And some of you guys are familiar with what she's been going through in her life. Right? Going through with her light bill and not being able to pay it and so on and so forth. And she found herself in a really uncomfortable position that caused her a lot of emotional stress, a lot of emotional stress. And part of the reason was because of some things that she could have done differently. But for the most part, in the beginning, when this first happened with her, and for some of you guys who don't know what she went through, I don't really want to rehash it too much. Hi, Sharon. Rehash it too much. And Penny, you know what? Yes, I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. That is my website. and for my book that I'm getting ready to publish, but that I'm getting ready to launch. But can you also post the website for my coaching website, lenacrespo.com? Yeah, I would appreciate it, Penny. Thank you so much, love. Oh, you can't pin? I don't even know how to. Good afternoon, Trisha. Thank you for joining me. I don't know how to pin either, Penny, and I'm on YouTube. So if you're on my page, I don't know. But I did see that you posted my website. I don't know how to pin it either. Hold on, let me see if I can do it. Oh, I'm able to do it, Penny. There we go. I just pinned it. Penny. So if you post my website, Penny, yep, there we go. So let me go and pin that. There we go. I think you just what's the other? I just saw my website, the other website on StreamYard, but I didn't see it on Facebook. Oh, you got group coaching. Yeah, just put www.lenacrespo.com. Hmm. Oh, you got it? Good. Hey Val, that's my other cousin. Love you so much. Catherine Ross, hello, hello. I keep putting these up because for some reason these are a little bit fuzzy, but I need them right now because this is so close. Thank you, Penny. Yeah, and so anyway, with Amanda and the things that she went through in the beginning of her experiences, she felt she felt bad, she felt anxious, she got even a little bit depressed because she couldn't pay her bill, her light bill, and she was out of her house with her grandson and she couldn't pay her light bill. And by the way, she still needs help, y'all. So if you guys, for those of you who are familiar with her situation, her bill is almost down to half, so she's still working on getting it down. So if you guys have anything that you can offer her, her Cash App is on her page, Conversations with Amanda. But in any case, she so I was speaking to her today, right? And she's been in a better place actually for the last couple of weeks. And if you guys have seen her lives, you notice how, the shift in attitude that she's had. So when I titled this, can the difference between pain and peace be a matter of perspective? It absolutely can, because what she has come to realize, and after speaking with her this morning and also seeing her in her lives and seeing what the new mindset that she's had, um let me just, that's her Cash App for those of you who want to donate. Even 50 cents, a dollar, anything can help. So what she has come to understand is that, number one, she has come to a place of acceptance with her situation, knowing that she created it. Now she's always admitted to creating this situation, this unfortunate situation for herself, and she's never not, I mean, she's never denied that. She was fully aware of that. However, it was a painful thing because she had to leave her home, leave her dog, and be in a place where she was very uncomfortable. Okay. So the difference between then and now is her perspective. During this time of transition for her, while she has to wait until that big bill is paid, she has come to understand some changes that's been happening within herself as she sits back and waits for, her to be able to move back into her home, right? And some of the changes that have taken place was intellectually, she had mental clarity on how she can do things better next time. She was able to really sit down and accept her situation and sit in it and be patient. And she also realized some of the grief that she was experiencing was because of the way that she looked at her situation, not really looking at how she's growing from the situation. So she took her mindset off of the pain of the situation, or the downfall of the situation, or whatever's causing that kind of emotional grief in herself. And she started looking at ways that she can grow. She started looking at how it was changing her, how she was able to sit down and come up with new plans, and so on and so forth. So basically, her perspective put her in a different mindset, which in turn changed her experience in going through this whole entire this entire situation. So it was just a matter of perspective. She took her eyes off the negative. She took her focus off what was going wrong and put a focus on what was going right. She was forced to look within herself and to find a way for her to grow from it. And she was willing to accept the demise of everything that was happening around her. And so it just brought her to a better place, a peaceful place within herself. So when I say, can the difference between pain and pleasure be a matter of perspective, it absolutely can. So many of us sit and we dwell in our misery, or if something goes wrong in a day. So many people say, oh, this day is ruined, and they just focus on everything that's wrong in that moment. And then they put that umbrella on everything that can possibly go right. They just cover it with that negative perspective and ruin their entire day. But hold on, our perspective can absolutely change our experiences. It's just a matter of shifting your perspective from negative to positive in a situation. And you guys know, I always preach, I always talk about purpose and pain. Nothing in life happens to us. It all happens through us. It's just a matter of how we see it and how we respond to certain things that's happening in our lives. Now, there's some things that we can't control when it comes to the death of a loved one, when it comes to all of those things that cause real emotional trauma or distress within ourselves. We have really no control over for that time. But ultimately, when we shift our perspective and realize, even if a loved one passed away, we focus on the good that loved one has brought into our lives. We focus on the joyful moments that we've had with that person. We focus on the time that they served with us in our lives, and then it kind of shifts our perspective from somewhat grief, because we're going to always grieve, but it takes the sting away from it, the sting of injustice away from it. So when we're able to identify what we could have done different when it comes to some painful experiences, like what Amanda's going through, if you have painful experiences with jobs where you're in a transition, you don't have a job, it's like you're in a tough space in your life right now. You have to find a purpose within that. You have to find out why it's there. And you have to always be willing to look at, what you could learn from that thing. Because if you stay focused on the negative thing, and I always talk about energy, right? Where your attention goes, energy flows. And what does energy do, guys? It expands. So it's going to expand anything that you are looking at. So if things are looking really bad, and that's your mindset, and you choose to take it as something negative, then you're going to have an extremely negative experience associated with that thing that's going on now, and you're going to exacerbate it. So nothing happens for no reason. Everything happens for a reason. And even if you can't find a purpose, a reason for this thing happening in your life, you have to trust that there is. You just have to find the purpose of it. Sharon said, yes, she's guilty of that. Penny's on my Facebook page starting a star party. Valerie, you're so right. It's just a moment, not a life sentence. And Valerie's my dear cousin, guys. Say hello to Valerie. There is always provisions and purpose in the pain. Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a matter of how you look at it. Now, of course, emotions are normal. Emotions are normal. Um, and they're healthy because they kind of show us where we're at, even those emotions that we consider negative. When we're angry or we're sad or whatever the case may be, those emotions show us where we are at. And it's okay to have those emotions. You just can't let it drive you. It's okay to let those emotions flow through you so that way you can process them. But it's not okay if you let them ruin the whole course of your day or feel victimized in them. Cheryl Creek says, I don't want to assume, but has she exhausted all of her resources for assistance with the bill? I know when my brother was living, he tapped agencies that would provide a yes. Yes, she did. Cheryl, we spoke about this several times on, well, not me. I think I spoke about it on my live. I think Darnell spoke about it on his live a few times, and she's also spoke about it. She lives in a part of the South where her town is very small, and so the resources are very, very, very limited. When she first got into the situation, I was working with her personally, and I'm a resource. I'm a catalyst for resources. I have resources for every situation. Okay, I ran dry with over there. Only because if your bill is over a certain amount, remember hers were over 6,000. If your bill is over 400, they can't help you. Her downfall in this whole thing was that she didn't reach out to anyone as the bill was getting higher and higher and higher. you know and then when she lost her job, she wasn't reaching out to anyone. She was just trying to take care of it on her own. So no, there's the resources, the people, the churches, they what do you call it, heap, where they assist with energy and electric and all that other stuff when people get their things turned off. Because her balance was so high, they couldn't assist because they have a cap, and they're never going to give you a little bit. What they have is if it's not going to resolve it. So those emergency resources only work when they are actually able to resolve an issue. But because her bill was over 6,000, they couldn't do anything. Even the Salvation Army couldn't help her because they even had a cap on what they were able to do, and they don't give if it's not going to get her back in her home. So she tapped out of all of her resources. She checked everywhere. I checked everywhere. We even had other people checking. So yeah, so that's a legitimate question. Thank you, Penny. Thank you. With your help, I need to learn to start trusting God and letting Him work everything out of me. Absolutely, Sharon. Absolutely. And also know that you have a part in that, right? Because you are spirit, soul, and body, right? So you are actually part of God yourself. You're not separated from God. God is not outside of you. God is not in the sky with wings. Okay. You're actually spiritually entwined with the power of God in a knowledge of God. So in knowing that, know that you, through your mindset, through your belief, you have the power to shift circumstances in your life. When we don't know what we have, or we don't know the power that we're created with, then of course life becomes fearful. It's like every situation, it seems like you have no power over it, when you absolutely do. And if you think about it, Sharon, every situation that happened in your life, every anxious moment that you had, or every fearful moment about something drastic happening in your life, didn't it all work out? Like all of it? Right? At the end of the day, it all ironed itself out, right? See, we forget those experiences. We forget about that because once we get out of a situation, then we get into a new one, and then we forget about how we was just delivered from that back there. And that's happened every time. And the reason why I'm assuming that it happened with you, because it happens with mostly everybody. We always end up delivered. Everything always ends up just fine. The thing that we feared never comes upon us. Okay. And if it does, it works itself out. So, yeah. Guys, ooh, those glasses make me hot. Before, let me see. Sabrina, blessings. Thank you. I'm going to get to some comments on my Facebook because I can't see it from here because I'm just not used to this live stream. Penny says, I'm so proud of her. Wait a minute. Shouldn't that be on here? Hold on a minute. Maybe I can get to these comments on here. Okay. Maybe it's on here. Hold on, guys. Maybe I don't have to do the separate thing. Okay. So Cheryl Creek asked that. Penny said, thanks for having so many. Okay. Yep. We just went through that. Blessings. Sabrina, thank you. You are so right. Pashana. I have to deal with the loss of my two kids and husband of 49 years, one day at a time. Absolutely. And my condolences to you and your family that had it, and grief, by the way, never really ends, but it does lighten up. It does lighten up due to but you have to shift your perspective and your understanding about death or the injustice of death in order to free yourself from the extreme grief. Because when we're going through emotional grief due to the passing of a loved one, right? The first thing that causes us the most pain is the injustice that we believe is associated with that death. Because we say, oh, they shouldn't have died, too early to die, too young to die, and all these different things that we come up with in our minds, right? But it takes us to understand that, again, when it comes to there are no accidents, you kind of have to learn more about that. I teach a lot about that in my book, Life and Death by Design, that I'm getting ready to launch. And it dives into detail on how there is no accident in life. And it actually enlightens you about death, because it's inevitable. Death entered into this world right on the wings with life, just like up and down and in and out. Those are two-sided coins. So you can't have one without the other. And death is not an ending. It's simply an awakening, a new beginning, a shift from physical reality to non-physical reality, because we all have a consciousness. We all have a soul, and the soul is eternal. You see what I'm saying? So with the soul being eternal, your soul is your consciousness. Your soul is what's looking out your eyeballs. Your eyeballs don't see. Your soul is seeing through your body, and your soul is moving through your body. So the soul never goes. The soul never sleeps. The soul is always present. And the soul being in a physical body is only when we're here in this physical existence. That's our soul focusing its energies in physical reality. But when we die, the soul takes its mind, its consciousness off of physical reality and focuses on non-physical reality. So it's a simple shift. It's not a death. It's an awakening. It's coming from one form to another. And I know that's probably hard to understand, because you have to understand a little bit about spiritual psychology to get even deeper into the understanding of a soul and a spirit and all those things, which is why I created my book, The Contract, Life and Death by Design, to give people a broader understanding about this thing called life here and what it means to actually die, and if it's an accident or not. Woo! Yes, we went through that. Oh, I see. Yes. Hi, honey. That's my wife, Lonnie Soldier Boy Crespo. Oh, thank you, Penny. You pinned my website. Thank you so much. Oh, my heart is hurting for you. I will send good vibes your way in my prayers. Yeah, send good vibes to her. Niagara said, I am sending what I can to Amanda. I would probably file bankruptcy for that amount. Lord, she is under a lot of pressure. Yeah, she is. And every little bit helps, but you know what? She's come out of it in such a way where she's really not under any more pressure. Her mindset has shifted, and she feels at peace because she's trusting that the situation is going to resolve itself, because situations have always resolved itself. It's our mental anguish that brings pressure to any situation. you know. So at the end of the day, she's okay with sitting in it. She's okay with learning from it. She's good. I mean, she's excited about growing from it. And then she's looking forward to a new future. She knows what she'll never do again. And she has a whole new plan. So this whole experience has really taught her something really critical in her life that's going to benefit her moving forward. Amen. Always works out in our favor. Building, yep. Faith of walk. Yep, Valerie. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Penny, for my page with hearts. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my Facebook because I don't know if these things are merging, but I know that there's some things on Facebook that I haven't seen, and I don't want to miss anybody. Anyone. Trisha said good morning. Okay, I remember that one. Oh, Penny says you can subscribe to my page. Why is he? I don't know. I got to think about this StreamYard because these things should be coming up. You can subscribe to my page and become one of my subscribers, one of my gems for $4.99 a month. You guys get a lot of value in my subscription group. You have to go to Life According to Lena. That's the page that you guys can subscribe to. Thank you, Penny, for posting that. Penny said, yeah. Mm-hmm. Penny says she's glad, she's proud of how Amanda has grown. Her growth has shown on her lives. Yes, it has. Thank you for the hearts, Doreen. Yes, indeed, I'm guilty of that. Mm-hmm. Okay, I do see some of these are actually. Oh, thank you, Sabrina, for 50 stars. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So some of these things, some of these comments are on my StreamYard, but then some of them I don't see, not unless I just missed it. If I missed you guys' comments, I apologize. Not on purpose. Okay. So Sharon Morgan said, Lena, I just went through a situation where my fuel pump went out of my car, and I am a very independent person, and I didn't have the money to get my car repaired. And I'm a very proud woman, but I had to sit and watch how I was made of to set. Wait a minute, I'd be missing my thought. But I had to sit and watch how I was made to set for 30, to sit probably for 30 days. And God showed me that He is there for me. I never asked for anyone to help me. A few people told me to stop blocking people from blessing me. Yeah, that's a big one. Because God uses people to help you. That's why we're all here together. This time I had to put my pride aside and let someone be blessed by helping me. Right. It was a test. And no, right. Exactly. Exactly. Sometimes that pride will get us, will keep us from receiving the help that we're asking for, right? We forget that nothing drops out of the sky. When we pray for patience, God don't just throw patience in your lap. No, right? What He does is He puts us in a long line at Walmart when we're in a rush to go somewhere. And then in that line, you develop patience. Okay. That's how patience work. And that's how blessings work. When you need something, you get the opportunity to develop that thing. Okay. And so that's a perfect that's a perfect example. I hear my wife in there laughing. That's a perfect example. And then higher than that, when it comes to allowing people to bless you, because we all have a hard time with that, we're going to see if God work it out. But what are you expecting? Like a bag to fall out the sky or something? No, you can't. You can't wait for that because that's not going to happen, right? So God uses people to help us. And in using those people, when we reject it, we block the blessing that they would have. No, actually, we wouldn't block any blessing that they would have coming because blessings is blessing. You don't block blessings really. But by that person blessing you, that person also becomes blessed. So that's a way for them to be blessed as well. So it's a cycle, it's a circle. Thanks for sharing that, Sharon. Penny said, "Hi, Lonnie. Life is so full of lessons. Life is life is all right. That's all life is. Right. That's all it is lessons." Lisa, hi Lisa, my good friend Lisa. Love you, girl. Good afternoon, Larry and Deborah. Darlene, hi. These glasses are hot, but I need them because it's so close. This StreamYard, this camera is so close. It's got to be put further back or something. Penny said, "Hi, Lisa." Hey, Penny, I'm here. Penny said, "Darlene, thank you for supporting Lena and sending stars." Thank you so much, Darlene. Thank you, Penny, also for you, Penny, because you're there seeing everything, and I can't see the stars because I'm on here. Niagara sends stars. Thank you so much for your stars, Niagara. Penny sends stars. Thank you so much, Penny, for your stars. I appreciate you guys. Star party. Oh, thank you, Lisa. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Lonnie said, "Hi, Pen Pen." Oh, see, them nicknames. So the next thing is so if you guys have any questions for me, always feel free to ask anything, pick my brain. I have a lot in here. I gotta decompress. Cheryl wanted to know about, she wanted me to speak about how to overcome bullying, how to deal with bullying. Let me get the exact. I got this book full of everything. I don't even know why I'm trying to look at it. Hold on, Cheryl. While I'm looking, Cheryl, if you're still on here, post what you wanted me to talk about. I know it's about bullying, but I just want to get it in the right context. When you told me about it, I had just flipped a page and said, how to cope. Okay, I got it. How to cope when feeling harassed. How to cope with harassment, cyberbullying, harassment. Okay. So when it comes to harassment, now we all know that we have been, for those of you who've been following Chef Carmen, I'm only saying this on here because I just opened up my regular profile page to this StreamYard, which I never really do videos on anymore. I used to be very active on my other page, and I stopped being active on it because now I'm more active on Life According to Lena. This is my page. And so people may not understand what we're talking about. I'm not going to go through it again, but we all know that Chef Carmen and Tay has been cyberbullied, harassed, continue to be harassed because of their choice to be together. Right. And so a lot of their supporters, which of course is myself and a lot of us on here, the majority of us on here have followed them at one point or another. And so give informative content. Thank you so much. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to click through this because thank you so much, Lisa. You and Penny are awesome. And so Cheryl has asked a few times how do you deal with how to cope when you're being bullied or you're being cyber harassed and things of that nature. So that goes back to, I got to get these glasses off. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. That goes back to your perspective, right? And learning and seeing the value in things. Well, the first thing I would do is I would not even pay any mind to it. That's the best way. Where you give your attention to, that's what expands. When what we focus on, energy goes, right? And so knowing that people are, and well, knowing that you are being bullied, or knowing that something is being put out there about you, and you're feeling a way about it, you're feeling pressured by it, you're feeling bullied by it, it's causing emotional distress. I would say the best way to deal with that is to, like I just said, try not to look at any of it. Okay. So that way you won't expand the situation and you won't bring any more pain to the situation. Because remember, a lot of pain is self induced, and it's self induced by your perspective of what you're giving your attention to. So we all have a choice in how we see things in this world and how we move and what we focus on in this world. So for me, I don't watch news. Why? Because news is absolutely negative, and it makes you look, it makes things look like the world is falling, like everything is coming apart in the world, right? And I know better than that. I know that there's a lot of good happening in this world as well. Hold on, guys. Let me just open. Hold on. I got to open up a window. I keep interrupting, but listen, it is what it is. There we go. Okay. I have no breeze in this house. And so where was I? Yeah, so it's I think I was here. It's all about perspective, right? And so we have to understand that there's purpose in things, and that there's some things that we cannot control. And so the best way to cope with harassment, if it's not physical harassment, of course we know the regular, the proper channel to take when it comes to physical harassment. You go to the police, you get order protection, all that other stuff. But there's a lot of cyberbullying going on, which makes everything a whole lot different, right? And so when you're dealing with cyberbullying, you're dealing with people that are at a distance, people that are using their keyboards to hurt you, right? And so, like I said, the first thought is to just not pay it any mind. The second way is to not have any of your friends and family on. I don't care what they put out about your children, about anything, to not bring it to you. Because again, what you focus on, right? That's what's going to bring you the most grief, right? And since you can't control what people are doing, you really shouldn't be paying attention to what they're doing, especially if you can't control what they're doing. Not unless you're going to take some kind of legal recourse and get a gag order, or get them, hold them accountable legally. Okay. And so if you're not going to do that, then the best recourse is to not give it your focus, give it your attention, no matter how hard that is. And I know, Penny knows, we all know, because those of us who've been supporting Chef Carmen have been a target and subject of bullying, cyberbullying. I have, Penny have, Darnell have, Letitia has, Lisa has, all of us have, and the whole, and more of you guys, so many more of you guys who follow them. And so that's the best recourse. Now, how do you deal with it emotionally? You have to kind of detach yourself from it emotionally. If you're not looking at it, if you're not seeing it, and you focus on making your life better, and focus on the things that make you happy, and start doing more of the things that make you happy, will help you have a better experience through that cyberbullying. Because again, we can't stop what happens or what people do online. We can't stop what people are saying about us. We can't stop what people are saying about our families. We can't stop what people are doing. We have no control over anyone else's actions. So if they choose to continue to bully, then you have to find a way around that. And the best way to get around it is to not indulge in it at all. And like I was saying, I don't watch news, because news is negative. It's extremely negative, right? And I know the world is a lot better than what the news is saying that it is, right? So I don't indulge in that kind of, I don't indulge in that until they make it even. I don't indulge in it. So I choose to take my focus off of anything that they say may be going on, and unless it's detrimental, like a coronavirus or a hurricane or something like that. I don't get involved in hellfire and damnation. I just don't, because that's one side of it, but there's an other side of it. And I chose to focus on the good side. And because of that, I have less trauma in my life. I have less stress in my life. I have barely any anxiety because I'm not thinking about the worst case scenario about things. I'm not thinking about anything that's bad in my life. I'm not doing that. I choose to take my mind off of one area that's causing me discomfort and putting it on an area of my life that may cause me peace. So it's a matter of changing peace. So that still goes back to this title. Can the difference between pain and peace be a matter of perspective? Even in cyberbullying, absolutely it can. Absolutely it can. But we have, we tend to look at the things that are hurting us, focus on the things that are hurting us. We care about people. We care about the people who are being bullied, but we're bringing them all these things that people are saying about them just to inform them. And even though the people may try, or you may try to ignore it, if somebody already brought it to you, then you can't help but feel that, because now you're feeling personally attacked. And sometimes emotional attacks feel and look the same way as physical attacks. They cause emotional wounds and scars, right? So the only way to cope with bullying is to not engage in it. If you can't do anything about it, you have to find a way to where you are doing more of what you feel good, where you are doing more of what feels good. Because that's the only thing that's going to get your mind off of these things that people are doing. You know what I mean? That's the only way, unless it's physical harassment or physical, bullying. There's not much we can do. We can only shift our focus and put our attention here. Unfortunately, with Chef Carmen and Tay, their business happened to be on Facebook, right? And so they have to be here, because most people say, well, just get off of the internet, get off of Facebook. That's not possible for people, for a lot of people. It's not possible for Chef and Tay. It's not possible for a lot of content creators who are being bullied right now. And by the way, Penny, keep asking Penny to do stuff. Penny, keeps kicking you off. Oh gosh. Well, Penny or Lisa, can you please maybe pin or post the link to our cyberbullying petition? Because we do, guys, have a cyberbullying petition that's still up. And it's not for one specific thing anymore. It's for the whole cyberbullying cyberbullying of content creators. We're trying to get Meta to not monetize these platforms that are created to harass, stalk, and bully other content creators, right? Because these people are getting paid, guys. These content creators are getting paid. The ones who are bullying people, they're getting paid. So they're doing videos and bullying and video after video with people, specifically Chef and Tay and other content creators, and they're actually getting paid filing taxes. Okay, so that shouldn't be allowed, and that's what the bullying is. I mean, the cyberbullying petition is for. There should be an all positive news station. I bet it would be popular. Just saying, yeah, it would. But then you'd be surprised though how much people want negative information. People sit in front of the news stations and they will dwell on the same repetitive news all day long. My wife being one of them. Sorry, honey, love you, but Lord. And they come to me and say, the world is on fire. I'm like, no, it's not. Jeez Louise. Cheryl, I hope that answered your question. Seeking therapy is another thing. You can get help. Oh, thank you, Penny. Thank you, Lisa. You can get help, if you're really suffering, but you know what I want to say about getting help, right? When you get it, when you're seeking therapy, you have to make sure that you have the right therapist. All right. You have to know what psychiatrists do. Psychiatrists basically diagnose you. They prescribe you medication. They don't care how your dog died. They don't care how somebody in your family died. Not that they personally don't care. I'm just saying that's not their field. They're not there to work out your problem. They're there to diagnose you and to possibly see if you need medication, right? A psychotherapist is different. Psychotherapist, if you can find the right psychotherapist, a psychotherapist works through your trauma, which is part of what I do. I'm not a clinical anything, right? A psychotherapist is clinical. I'm a life coach, right? And I use psychotherapy, right? I use the CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. I use a lot of the a lot of, gosh, what word am I looking for? A lot of the techniques, the healing techniques that a psychotherapist would use, right? I'm certified in those. I've been trained in those, right? I didn't have to get a clinician to do it. Psychotherapists, of course, they're doctors. I'm not, right? But when you get someone that's able to work through your emotional trauma, your pain, your childhood pain, your childhood trauma, your current emotional trauma, that's when you have landed the right person to help you. Because therapy should never be longer than a year. When I hear people going to therapy for years and years and years and years, I'm like, what are you in there for? Like, you should be healed. You should already have the tools. Now, granted, some people don't want to use the tools. Some people really, not that they prefer to, but subconsciously they're stuck in their pain and they feel helpless. They feel like they can't do anything. So they stay in therapy. It's not helping. The doctors are making money, but nothing's helping. When you seek therapy, you should not be in therapy past a year. When someone comes to me for relationship coaching, when someone comes for me for their life coaching, because I do mindset transformation coaching, right? So all of my coaching is trauma based. Is diving into your past pain, your childhood trauma, those things that keep you stuck in a way where you can't move forward in your life, right? It should only take a year. It should only take a year. So when you guys are looking for help, make sure you look for a psychotherapist, not unless you need a psychiatrist to possibly help diagnose you with some stuff. I'm just throwing that out there for you guys. What is my wife saying? She's putting up emojis. We just can't see them on here. Cheryl Creek said, I agree now. I'm ignoring all the negative comments because they're going to do so. Because they're going to do and say whatever they want. And if you are going to hate, and if you're going to hate, they don't care what you're saying and aren't changing. Right, Cheryl? We cannot mold an outcome. We just can't. Especially when it has to do with someone else. We can try and mold our own outcome, and half the time we fail with that, let alone molding the outcome of someone else's actions. People are going to do what they're going to do. And my motto that I live by is this: allow people to be whoever they need to be and give them the space to do it, whether you agree with it or not. Think about it this way: it's your judgment. It's your judgment that's causing you the most pain, right? Because if you didn't judge it, if you didn't pay attention to it, if you just ignored it as if they don't exist, which is possible to do, would you still have that experience? The answer is no. So that means that a lot of our emotional pain is self-induced. It's self-induced. Now, it doesn't mean that the pain wouldn't be there, but the sting of injustice, all of that, that extra pain that we do, because think about it, life is hard enough, right? It's hard enough. But when we add our part to it, it makes it harder. It makes it harder, So just like with Amanda, when she got in a situation, she didn't see an end. She was almost in depression. She changed her perspective and now she's at peace. Still going through, still sitting in the same seat, but now she's at peace. It was a matter of her changing her perspective. When I was targeted and my stuff was put online and lies were put online, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't want to see it. I looked away from it. I wasn't going to check on it. Nobody bringing me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. Because I get to choose what I'm giving my attention to. And I know that if I give my attention to the news, if I give my attention to the people who's trying to bully me, if I give my attention to anything negative, that's going to cause me more harm. So since I have that power, I'm going to remove my attention, because my attention is my power. That's my superpower, my attention. Penny says, my daughter been in therapy for years. She's picking about who she can open up to. So now she has an amazing therapist. That helps as well. She feels comfortable with a therapist. Right, Penny? And sometimes we have to go through a few to see who we can be comfortable with. I totally understand that. Absolutely. Absolutely. But make sure that moving forward, she's growing from that therapy because, again, you don't need therapy for years. You don't need it for the rest of your life. 1 year. Trauma takes a long time to work out, but you can work out that trauma within a year. You can't do it overnight in 2 months because you didn't get in that emotional or mental situation in 2 months, but you can absolutely work it out. When I'm doing my mindset coaching, I do it in 3 month increments, 3, 6, 9, 12. And typically people are free from their trauma or whatever it is that they've been experiencing within that ninth month, if not the 6th month, depending on depending on how much trauma they have, and they're giving tools to cope. And by the time they're done with my mindset program, they have a different outlook on life. They have a different perspective on life. They're feeling more happy. You guys look at the testimony that I have on my Lena Milton page, my Lena Crespo page. I have a testimony that's pinned up there. And this is a woman who was on the verge of suicide before I got to her. And she's explaining how her life has completely changed. And now it's not enough time in the day for her to do all the things that she wants to do in life because she has a brand new perspective. So, effective therapy works. Mm-hmm. Penny said, yep. Margaret said, I wish to see every content creator and every blogger to use their platform to help bring justice for Shaquilla Robinson. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sheila said, and hi, Sheila. She says, I know a guy that was in therapy for multiple years and it definitely did not help him because of the idea of what people think therapy is. If everybody knew that before you go to therapy, if you knew that you shouldn't be in something for a long period of time, even if it takes you a year and a half, sometimes, face it, there are probably people in this world, and I know it is actually, that's been through literal hell. Nothing compared. Nothing like we can't even compare what they've been through. You're talking about House of Horrors, children being abused in the worst, like all of that. I get years of working that out, especially when you're a child. Children are different. They need to work out through years because their minds are not capable of understanding or processing trauma, right? So I'm not saying that a child can work out their trauma in a year. No. Adults are held to a different standard because now our minds are mature. Now we're able to grasp the concept of some things, and now we're able to rationalize some things. And higher than that, change our perspectives. Children can't. So when you're dealing with an adult, if you only knew before you went to therapy that you shouldn't be more than a year, and I'm giving it another 6 months, a year and a half. Let's cap it off and say 2 years. You shouldn't be in therapy more than 2 years. You just shouldn't. Not for the same thing anyway. And a good psychotherapist will work out all those problems because trust me when I tell you, every problem is the same solution. Every problem is not different solutions. It's the same solution. It's your mind and how you perceive things, what's the lessons in it, and how you chose to cope with it or how you were forced to cope with it or whatever it is. It's about looking at the benefits of that trauma, especially, and I know how traumatic things can be, but working out what you've gained from that, the strength you've gained from that, and how to move forward with that strength. It's so many different pieces to working out childhood trauma or to working out any kind of trauma. It's a lot of things coming together. So it's only one major answer. So when people come to me for life coaching, they come to me for, they come to me for my programs. It's one solution. It always is. For every person that comes to me, I see the same answer, the same solution. Now that my daughter has a good therapist, she can actually go. It's been a world of difference for her. Good, Penny. I'm happy about that. Cheryl Creek, thank you for the information. You're welcome, Cheryl. Always ask me anything, Cheryl. Always. And Cheryl is our subscriber. Thank you guys for subscribing, by the way. Real talk, thank you. Alice, pick and choose what you give your attention to. Love this. Yes, Alice. You guys don't understand how much power you have. Your attention is your superpower. Your attention is your superpower. You have to make a choice whether you want to give something your attention or you want to ignore it. Right? And if it's not and here's the thing, if you don't, the only reason why it's affecting you is because you gave your attention to it. You know what I mean? That's the only reason. The mind is so powerful. What we believe is what we manifest in our lives. Right, Sheila? Most things are self-fulfilling prophecies. What you fear, like Job said in the Bible, what I feared has come upon me, right? What you fear. Why is that? Because when you fear something, you're giving it so much attention, so much energy. And what happens with energy? It expands. So therefore, energy expands, and energy is creative. It's how everything in this earth is created. Every physical thing, every emotional thing is all created through emotions, right? So then when that thing that you feared comes up to confront you, then your excuse is, well, it was going to happen anyway. I knew it was going to happen that way. No, it wasn't going to happen that way. You created that situation for yourself and you manifested it, and now it's here to look at you. And our whole point of manifesting, being able to create, being able to manifest, we're here to have experiences with the things that we create so that way we can adjust ourselves accordingly. So if you create something bad or you create something good, it's here to show you what you created by way of feeling. So if it makes you feel good, then you create more of that. If it makes you feel bad, then you got to adjust yourself. Okay. But you have to first admit that you created it. Okay. That's the first step. Penny, let's flood Lena's page with hearts. Thank you guys for the hearts. I appreciate it. Cheryl Creek, it's just dishonoring to know Facebook and these other platforms would allow these people to bully to this extreme and not do anything. It's criminal what they've done. Yes, please, everyone, sign the petition. Please sign our petition for anti-bullying. Cheryl, girl, we've been riding this train for a while now. It's going on 8 months, 9 months now. And yeah, it's criminal. But you know what it is? It's because everything is machines. People are very slick with how they do their videos and the content that they have. There are certain words that are scanned through this algorithm. And if in these keywords, if those keywords are said or written, then of course the page, the pages or videos or comments will get deleted or shut down. But when you're doing a video, it's kind of hard because even though the video is spewing hate, the machine can't read the video. You see what I'm saying? It can't read the video. And so they rely on these systems to scan pages and to scan content. And even though you can see somebody saying, oh, you're a dog or a rat, da, 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 if no keywords are in there that's going to alert for a harassment or bullying, then unfortunately it gets overlooked. It's a shame. But that's what these petitions are for. And this is not the only petition. There's quite a few cyber petitions out there. So Meta is going to definitely get the memo one way or the other. But Penny and I have anything to do with it, we're going to definitely get that memo to Meta. They have to do something about that. I agree with that. What you give your energy to can likely happen. Right. Of course. Think about it. Anything that you were ever driven to do, didn't you accomplish? That wasn't by accident. That was absolutely not by accident. That was on purpose. Okay. You just don't realize it was on purpose. Right. So anything you give your energy to, and guess what? When you're pissed off or you're angry at someone and that person's not there, right? Look at all the scenarios and all the the things that you could come up with in your mind as to why somebody did something just by judging them, just by being so pissed, right? And the minute they come into your view, now it's a fight. Now you're so pissed that they can't say anything, right? Because you gave yourself to that negative energy, and all that energy did was expand. So by the time you finally get to the person, now you're really triple pissed, and it's not that they did anything more. The situation remained the same, but you expanded your thought process through that negative energy, and you brought more negative thoughts to your mind. So by the time they come to view, you have quadrupled your anger. You know what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right, Dion. Penny, you can subscribe to Lena's awesome page at $4.99 a month. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm giving free services to my subscribers. I give my ebooks. I wrote a lot of ebooks. I don't sell them. I use a lot of them in my coaching programs, and most of them I give to my coaching clients, right? As just tools to keep them and guide them through their lives. So all the ebooks that I have written and I give away for free in my group and my subscribers group. So you guys subscribe to Life According to Lena. Subscribe. Trust me, you get more than what you bargained for. Thank you, Penny. Where do you go to sign this? Oh, 1:33 p.m. Oh, she just wrote that. Where do I go to sign a petition? Penny pinned it below. She pinned it below. Yumika. And thank you for joining me, Yumika. Thank you. There it is right there, guys. Penny pinned it. Penny said, we are so over bullying people. I mean, we are so over people bullying pages for the sole purpose to bully and hate on others. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And it brings a lot of emotional stress. You guys already know that Chef and Tay, they have been, I can't imagine their walk. I don't even know how they're still standing. I don't know if I would be strong enough to do it. Because this came on a massive scale of thousands of people out of nowhere, destroying these people's lives. So, yeah. And these people are still around and they still existing because there are a lot of hateful people in this world that's not happy with themselves. You know, when you hate somebody, hate towards anybody else is really reversed to self-hate. You have to hate yourself to hate someone else. That's why Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself, because there's power in that. When you love yourself, you're going to love your neighbor. It doesn't matter what they do. Not that you're going to be in love with them like Trump or something like that, but you're going to understand where they are in life and say, well, they are at a weak place in life. They are here in life, or they're growing in life. You know, when you love somebody, you make exceptions for their shortcomings, you know, by saying, okay, whatever they're doing, they're going to learn from it. That's how I look at things. I don't judge anything. Well, let me not lie. I try not to judge. And if I do, I never do it verbally. I never do it verbally in a way where it's going to destroy somebody. But I try to keep the perspective that everything happens for a reason and people are in different seasons in their lives. And even if they're looking like, you know, they are in a bad season in their life or they're doing bad things, I try not to look at them as bad people. I just say people do bad things. And it's not even bad things. These are things that will only hurt them. They're self-destructive, right? And even when people are self-destructive, I still look at it in a different way. Like, okay, they're doing this bad thing. But I know that when this thing comes back to bite them in their behind, there's going to be growth from that. Hopefully, you know, they're going to grow from it. They're going to learn from it. You know, people don't learn until things hit their families. People don't learn until things hit their children. People don't learn until things hit their jobs and it hits their livelihoods, you know, and the things that they're trying to accomplish, because negative energy, you know, it has a boomerang effect to kind of destroy your life. You know what I mean? So it doesn't pick and choose which area of life it's going to destroy. It's going to destroy whatever's in the way. So that's why I'm very careful when it comes to my energy, because I don't want anything to happen to my children because of me. And I want to clear myself of any fault in anything that may happen to my children, happen to my my livelihood, happen to just any area of life. I'm trying to steer clear of that and make sure that I have no hand in that. So if things happen, it happens for a reason. But if I can help it, it won't be by me. Any other questions, guys? Um, Okay, so Cheryl Creek said that's understandable. I know if a human versus machine saw these videos, they'd be shut down. Right, right. And that's the thing. And so For me, Cheryl, like I just said, I look at things so differently in life. I have a way different perspective than a lot of people because I believe in purpose and pain. So even when it came, and I said this many times, when it came to Chef and Tay, it's hard. It was hurtful to see them go through that, right? But I was also excited about the purpose, the profitable, the fulfilling purpose that was going to come out, that was going to derive from all of this. My mind was always focused on what was going to happen that was good as a result of all of this. My mind was focused on the strength that they were going to gain from all of this. It was always focused on the outcome of all of this because I saw all good, because I know that that pain transforms people, right? Pain transforms people. We need painful experiences. We need problems in life. The problem with life is not that there are problems. The problem with life is thinking that having problems is a problem, because problems change things. You see? So I look at life that way. So I'm like, okay, this is really unfortunate, but is it going to benefit them? Absolutely. Is it going to serve them? Absolutely. So I look at that, and that right there, that perspective kind of relieves me of the injustice associated with that particular experience that they're going through. Hi, Dana. That's okay, Dana. That is okay, honey. You are here again. You're always here. Thank you so much. Hey, Penny. Yep, better late than never. Yep. Niagara said, this morning I saw a page that is supposed to be Chef's friend, yet they were in the comments in the hate page wishing that person well. Well, yeah. There's a lot of things that we can't explain, but what I can tell you is that we all go through our transformation or our transitional phases in life. And unfortunately, transitional phases never look good. A transitional phase in someone's life is looking at them in full chaos, looking at them showing up purposely to be the worst person that they can ever be. So it looks bad. But believe it or not, it's a transitional moment, a phase in their life, because that evil or that what harshness or that judgment that people are spewing towards other people, that has to come to a low. That has to hit a bottom eventually, because it's really hard to stay in that type of a mindset without it actually affecting your life. And I'm talking about your physical life. That energy, man, that energy ain't no joke. And that energy is, when you're in a negative state of mind, that energy is affecting everything around you, including your family. And so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that people's lives have to be turned upside down for them to see the light, but that's the way that God created this world. All of our lives were turned upside down before we put it right side up, every one of us. So I don't judge that either. They going through it. Oh my God, wow, that's so sad. Yeah, it is. Hey, Balaisha. Oh gosh, did I say that right? Am I always messing up your name? Baletia. Bless you. Oh, crap. Sorry, girl. Always with that name. Jeez. Lynn Clark, hello, welcome. How do you maintain a respectful, living, kind relationship with an elderly, negative, close relative? Lord, is that everybody's story now? Woo! How? I have an answer. I'm just breathing because I went through that. One way is, if they have a diagnosis, then that's a shortcut. Because if somebody's diagnosed with something, Lynn, then you're like, okay, so then it's a reason why they're acting this way, right? But in some cases, they're not diagnosed with anything. They're just elderly and negative and mean. So if that's what you're dealing with, Lord, that's a tough question. You must know I have some kind of experience. That is a tough question. How do you deal with it? You deal with it the same answer. You see how everything has one solution? You deal with it by not judging it, by not taking it personal, and knowing that everyone's going through a transitional phase, including the elderly. They're transitioning. They're at the end of their life cycle. They are transitioning. And unfortunately, the characteristics that someone had when they was younger, if you're mean and evil, if you don't change them, they unfortunately, what do you call it? Exacerbate. That's the right word. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right because I'm kind of clouded right now. Into their old age, and they become triple mean, triple negative, triple difficult, right? And because of that reason, I make it a point. See, that's why I'm working on self-love. That's why I'm working on being kind. That's why I'm working on not judging people, no matter how terrible they seem on the outside. I know what transition looks like. It happens on the inside because it happened on the inside of me. Okay. So I know that you can't always see. Sorry, honey.
I say, talk about it, baby.
I'm not talking about it.
Talk about it.
I am not. No, not that person. No.
I'm to talk about it. I'm trying to write something, but I can't even write it. People.
You want me to say?
Yes.
Why don't you come and answer her question? My wife is perfect to answer that question. Come here. Close the door.
I can't.
Well, come behind me then. Guys, say hi to Lonnie.
Hi, everybody. She's laughing because we went through that with my mother. She's 85 years old. She went through a transition of moving from living alone and doing everything for herself until she couldn't. And so she came to live with us. And that was the hardest thing for her, but the worst thing for us.
It was hell.
It was
hell.
It was pretty much. I don't know what hell is, but
if hell was bad. A place, that was hell.
Yeah, she made herself very unhappy and made us very unhappy. And
Lynn said her mom is 85. Hold on a minute, honey. Hold on.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to go that. Well, I'm going to go down here. I guess I have to go back up. I want to go back to where Lynn said her mother's 85.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It wasn't easy because we think we could deal with situations like that until we have to do it. And you learn that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else. At least that's what I learned.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm going through that.
Yeah.
With my sister,
who turns out to be a duplicate of your mother.
My mother.
But we're not dealing with it, but her daughter is. But
yeah, so that's a very difficult situation. And if you didn't need help before, you'll need help then when you take care of somebody that's difficult like that.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And especially when there's no real diagnosis. And it appears that they have every, like they have, for the most part, their full mental, that like they're cognitive, so.
Before you get into that,
yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of people running the streets right now that are undiagnosed. So.
Yeah, but she went to the doctor.
Yeah, they said
she went to the emergency room site, and she was evaluated by 2 doctors, and they called us and they was like, well, why did you send her here? But and she was totally, what do we call it? Psychosis? I don't know what it was. The only word I can think of was psychosis. Like she was in full blown, and we had to take her to emergency psych because she was doing it was insane. Like she couldn't We had to. And they called us on the phone. She turned that switch off, and they called us on the phone, and they said,
off and on.
so why did you send it to us? We was like, well, she doing da. We're worried. It was like, no, we believe her. Because she was telling them that we were doing bad things to her.
I needed some
therapy,
and I got it. But
yeah, she got therapy for that.
Because I really went through it, and she lives with my brother now.
Yeah, it was really bad, and it's nothing that I did, guys. I love family. I have a very large family, and we're all in love, and I get along with everyone in my family. And I was really trying to embrace her mom, and we still, we still in contact with her and everything.
Always, yeah.
But that difficult situation, Lynn, that's why I was gasping as you was asking the question. I'm like, that's when I realized I'm still traumatized.
I was trying to write, but my phone wasn't doing it. I was like, let me go in there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
But empathy. This is the epitome. My wife is the epitome of unconditional love. If unconditional love was a person, it'll be her. And when I tell you that, in spite, Lynn, of how difficult her mom was to us, but to her most of her life, when I tell you, if you were to see her with her mom, you would not think that at all. The way she's loving on that dog, that's the way she loves on her mom, despite of anything. When her mom would get in those psychotic moments, or I'm sorry, guys, I don't even know if that's not a real diagnosis. I'm just saying, some extreme difficult moments, she would literally love on her mom, like love on her to no end.
Yeah, I had to.
Right. So that's what you need to be. That's what you need to be to deal with it.
But not not hurting yourself.
Right. She did it at the expense of her own mental health.
Yeah.
So by the time it all came to a head, she realized how damaged she was. And then she had to go through her own emotional trauma. So then all of her childhood stuff started coming up. Everything started coming up for her. Like that brought her to so much grief and pain in her life. And then she went through the cycle of healing. She got mad. She was mad at her mother. Of course, being in love with her, but she got mad. Then she started processing all of her own trauma, and then it reversed it back to love. So now she's at a place of love, as she always has been with her mother. Because she's far away now.
She's gonna come back one day, though.
Yeah, she's gonna come back. We got room in our lives for her. Listen. There's no way we're not ever letting her go through a nursing home. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. I wasn't going to say nothing. She made me say all that.
You couldn't breathe. I was like, let me help you out.
I couldn't breathe. Thank you. Oh, gosh, Lord. Okay, so let me get back. Let me get to these. I'm sorry, guys, for the people that I missed. Hold on. Lord, Lynn, ciao. It's the pain which gives birth to a new life, and it could be the pain only which you can search the meaning for your life. Yes, I really love that. And Sheila's referring to what we were just speaking about. Hello, Lonnie. Sheila. Let me see what I got from what Lonnie just said. Lonnie's the best. Okay, so Lynn said, thank you so much. I'm Lonnie. I am damaged. PTSD. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for your words. Yes, Lynn, it was extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. Lord, we almost had a case on us. It was bad. It was bad. And I would always tell my mom would be like, how you doing? And I always tell my mom, oh, I'm fine. I'm holding up. I'm positive. I look at everybody as going through a transformation. None of that worked in that moment, because at the end of the day, my mother started hearing my voice change, and my enthusiasm for life changed. And she started hearing pain in my voice. until I had to admit and break down and cry and let her know what I was going through and how all of this was affecting me from this little 85-year-old woman. So it was definitely emotional trauma. It was PTSD to the fullest. We had to get help for it. I had to get help for it. I had to hire somebody, a psychotherapist, to bring me back to what I know, to do that CBT on me. Okay, because I couldn't heal myself. So, but thank you so much for sharing that, Lynn. I really appreciate that, because that's a real thing. Lisa said, "Oh my God, my uncle gave my cousin hell, and he's his only child." Yeah, yeah, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Oh my gosh, that's a real thing. When I saw Lynn's question, I'm telling you, that just brought me. When I saw that question, Lynn, you can see I clutched my pearls, right? I was like, oh, if a stuck coach was a person, it'd be me. I was stuck. I didn't even have an answer for you because of the trauma. Wait, do I have on two separate earrings? What the hell is going on? So y'all gonna sit there and let me have on two separate earrings? That's how y'all rolling? No good. How you gonna have me in here with two separate freaking earrings? What is going on here? Guys, I'm done. Y'all are not my friends. Lisa, Penny, I'm holding y'all accountable. Darnell, hi Darnell. Love me some Darnell. Guys, follow We Can All Do Better. Follow We Can All Do Better on YouTube and Facebook. He also has a subscription on both platforms. Woo! That's okay, honey. I love you anyway, Darnell. Settling trends. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. Samantha says, sorry we could not see behind the hairline. Listen, y'all are just wrong. Like, I had on two separate airlines. Earrings. Like, look at me. See? Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at here. I went to put it in the same thing. Y'all have me out here looking crazy. There's a difference. No, ain't no damn setting trends. Oh, see, thank you, Lisa. See, me and Lisa be here. Darnell and Penny always got something to laugh about. Me and Lisa be here. Margaret said we need to work on some solutions for dealing with the elderly in those relationships. Therapy, having a voice of reason, saging, crystaling. Where's my crystals? Crystals. Knowing that there's purpose in pain, and seeing everyone is going through something transitional. Like when her mother comes back, I know how to deal. Maybe it's because I have more strength now because it's been a year, because her mother's definitely going to come back. She's definitely going to come back in her older years, because it was always my wife's dream to take care of her mother. She wants to be the one. She's always been the one to take care of her mother. She's been the sole person and child of her whole life out of everyone in her family to take care of her mother. She's done it since she left for the military at 18. She sent her parents money every week, every month, without fail. She's always been the only one coming back and forth every year from California to visit her mother, take care of her mother, hold her mother's hand, comb her hair. She does all of that with her mother. So she's definitely going to come back. And when she does, I'll be a better me. Lonnie will be a better her, and we'll be able to cope more. I don't think it's going to go as bad as it did before, because that was by accident. Like, that just happened out of nowhere. We weren't prepared for that. We weren't prepared for that type of trauma. We weren't prepared, but now we're prepared. So preparation is always key. Knowing that they can't change. it's hard for them to change. They cannot change, Lynn. And you just have to learn not to take it personal and know that whatever they're going through is them, and you can't change that, and you can't turn it around. So okay. Oh, and then Netra. Hi, Netra. She said hello, Darnell. Okay. Darlene said my mother-in-law lived with us for 5 years. She tortured me. Sorry, Darlene, I'm not laughing. I'm still traumatized. Oh my God. I didn't know that this story was so broad. I didn't know that a lot of people was going through this. I thought it was just us. Well, not really, but I didn't know that a lot of people are going through this. She tortured me. She was so mean to me. I would wake up at night and she was standing over me saying mean things. My husband nor his family believed me. That's terrible. I'm sorry you had that experience, Darlene. Thank God my wife knew me enough to trust me. I didn't have to tell her anything. I stayed away from her mom after a while. After I was trying to please her and buy her everything and make sure that she's comfortable, gave her a whole suite in our house where she don't need anything. My wife loved me enough to trust me. So I didn't have to tell her anything. She knew it. Most of the stuff I didn't even have to tell her, but she knew. And when her mother would come to her and say certain things about me, my wife would have my back. I never had that conflict with my wife. And thank God, because when you're in conflict with your family versus the mother, or your husband versus his mother, your wife versus her mother, and they going against you, you can't win. I have a good friend. I have a very good friend who went through the same exact thing, right? With her husband's mother. She knew him for years, but living apart, you don't see that. I mean, you see the evilness, but you don't see it all the way. You don't get a full-blown dose of it. Well, Hunty, when she came to live with them, it got so bad that her mother called the APS, Adult Protective Services, on them. They also had a daughter that was, I think she was 8 at the time, in the house. And both of the parents were teachers. Because she had adult protective pending allegation against them, you can't work with any kids while you have that, right? So both the parents, the daughter-in-law and the son, lost their jobs. Okay. And because of that pending charge, and it was ongoing, the daughter that was living there had to go live with her sister, which is my best friend, had to go live with them because she was no longer in the house because of the pending out. It was crazy. It was crazy. They definitely got their lives back because everything was proven, it wasn't proven, but they went through hell. Peace and blessings. Thank you, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Darlene Thomas standing over you. That's weird. Samantha. Standing over you? That's crazy. In front of people, she would say how much she loved me. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Penny. Flood Lena's line with hearts. It's a big lesson. Right. My wife said, guys, my wife is Lonnie Soldier Boy Crespo. She said it was a big lesson. But honey, I was just telling her, well, you probably heard it, that when she does come back, we know how to deal with it. And you know what's strange? Her sister, which she mentioned, I'm not bringing this up. My wife mentioned it. She told y'all. She just told y'all a little bit. I'm not going to tell you too much either. But her daughter, her sister's daughter, her sister's living with her daughter's family. They're experiencing that same type of help from my wife's older sister. She's displaying the same behavior as her mother. The same exact behavior, except she's in her 60s. Woo! And they're going through hell right now. That's why I'm repairing myself now, so I can be a nice, kind, loving soul, and I can be a pleasure to be taken care of in my old age. I don't want to be a burden to anybody. I want to be a honor to be taken care of. And I'm practicing now by just being nice. Because trust me, guys, if you are mean now, you're going to be 80 times meaner later. And you might not have such good kids. Like my mother got good kids, and Lonnie's mother, Lonnie's a good egg. We're good eggs. So, you got kids that'll really mess you up if you should. You got kids that'll mess you up if you start messing with them in your old age. So y'all better work on being nice. Yes, Darnell, Lonnie is the sweetest. Thank you, Lisa. I love my little crew. I love y'all. Yes, guys, subscribe to my channel, Life According to Lena. Subscribe to my channels because, well, not YouTube, because I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, but on Facebook, absolutely. You get a lot for your money. Dana said, that's me right now. It's hard dealing with elderly, mean parents who are stuck in their ways. Oh, my God, another one. That's terrible. It's refreshing to know how common this is, but it's also painful to know that other people are going through this. This is a topic that my wife and I will probably create and talk around, so that way we can help people, because we've been through it and we've healed through it. I think we healed through it. We'll find out. Right. But we did the work to get through the healing phase of dealing with a very difficult elderly parent. And so we probably end up creating a video on that, or live just on that, because it seems like a lot of people are going through this and people don't know what to do. And you don't want to put them in a nursing home. But my mother said if she ever becomes that difficult, stick her behind right in a damn nursing home. So I'm going to obey her wishes should she become difficult. Hopefully not, though. Sheila said we can all do better, Darnell. Right. Okay, Sheila said, I'm not dealing with evil drama in my own home. Right. Someone must go, and it's definitely not me. I love helping, but not at the expense of my sanity. Sheila. And here's why I'm giving you kudos, well, claps and applaud. Is because self-love is primary. It's a priority above anything or anyone in this life. Self-love. Because if you don't love yourself enough to take care of your emotional well-being, then you're not going to be here to take care or give to anyone in a good, loving, nurturing, successful, effective way. Right? So if something's causing you peace, I'm talking about emotion, because the emotional strain of dealing with an elderly, mean, so what appears to be an evil spirited, they're not evil spirited, they just mean. Okay, because there's no such thing as evil spirited, right? We all got a spirit in us. It's just that they're just mean, right? And when you're dealing with that and you can't handle it, enough is enough. Enough is enough. You have to draw the line somewhere. You cannot just keep yourself in a place of misery because it's tradition to deal with something on a certain way, or you have to honor thy mother. You honor thy mother and my father by putting them in a situation where people are trained to cope with that type of behavior. And so at the time where my wife and I were really at our cap with the stress of it and the trauma of it, we found ourselves in trauma. We didn't see ourselves getting there. We found ourselves in trauma. And this happened within 6 months. It got that bad. It got so bad to where it was terrible. It was terrible. I found myself in a place of depression. I found myself in a low energy. I couldn't even meditate properly. Big yard, pool, right by the beach. I couldn't find peace. We would always go to the beach to find peace, and we'll get it for that minute, but we'll come back home to a dark place. It was just really bad. This is really bad. She said, y'all may have already missed this, but why do a lot of people get old and mean instead of realizing they have more days behind them than ahead of them trying to get better? Because it's not because people find themselves old. People are not consciously working on being their best and self-reflective. It takes a self-reflective spirit. It takes a person that wants to change. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen at an old age. That happens at your middle age, where I'm at in my 50s or your 40s, when you start realizing and start thinking about what people are saying about you and wondering if it's true, or questioning whether or not this could possibly be true, right? So you have to want to change when you're young. My mom is a nurse. My dad, oof. My dad is a director of he deals with crisis. He has a PhD, he's a doctor. He deals with all that emotional trauma in individuals. And so people, if they're not changing during their lives, then when they end up old, they end up becoming, well, staying that person, but becoming worse. You know what I mean? Instead of being a mean person, you become an older, meaner person. You know what I mean? So it's like their behavior, it exacerbates. It gets bigger, because it's a expression of who they was in their life. And if you notice, when it comes to mean parents in their old age, they weren't the most loving, nurturing people. You know, not unless they're done with dementia or all that other psychological stuff. But if they're mean, and even if you think they have a little something going on, they weren't the nicest, like the most nurturing people on earth. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a point that old people don't say, well, I'm at the edge of the cliff and I'm getting ready to fall off, at the end of my life cycle, let me get better. No, as you get older, you get more resentful, you get more meaner, because you feel more remorse, you feel more regret. And especially looking at the way that you was in your life, it's a lot of things that go along with that. So by the time they get older, they don't thinking about that. The time to change is now, to be a nicer person now. I think if we practice the habit of being a nicer person, we can't help but to become a nicer person in our old age. Like I said, I want to be the type of person that my kids find joy and pleasure in taking care of and being taken care of. Thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you. Yes, let's do that, babe. Let's do what, honey? Be nice now. I'm already nice now, damn it. I hope. I am nice now. Oh, thank you, Samantha. She says, still promote the YouTube page, Life According to Yelena. You'll eventually get monetized. Yes, thank you so much. You know what, Samantha? I've had that page for quite a while. I just was never really active on it. Actually, what I do on my YouTube page is really just dump some videos on there, preparing to really edit them and get them in a certain way. And I just haven't done that because I've been doing so much. So I'm going to definitely make it a priority to stream more from my YouTube page. And also, I have tons of videos that I have to put on my YouTube. But thank you so much, Samantha. I appreciate you always. Always. You're always present and you're always a source of support. I appreciate that. Penny, oh, thank you, Niagara. Yes, Niagara. Oh my gosh, both the names that I have problems pronouncing is in the same. You know what? That's life trying to tell me to get a damn grip. Niagara and Belita. Belisha. Try and skip out the back door with that one. Jeez. Thank you so much for the stars, guys. I really appreciate it. Nicole says, Nicole Love, and I love that name, Nicole Love. I believe that it's because they are angry at the fact that they are elderly and can't do things independently on their own. That's a good way to look at it. And if you look at things that way, that'll help you get through it also. It's a transition for people to deal with, coming to terms that they are sick and now need help. Yes, and it's so hard for them to even admit it or even embrace it. You know how hard it is to get these elderly people to embrace the help that they're now receiving? It's so hard. It's so hard. you know? So you made an absolutely valid, good point, Nicole. A good point. And that's why I say don't take it personal. Whatever they're doing, however they're lashing out, don't take it personal. I didn't take it personal at all. I mean, I went the whole time like, you know, babe, that's your mother. I'm gonna just stay out of her way. You go ahead and deal with her, and it's okay. It's okay. I would give her the kitchen to cook whatever she wanted to cook. I stayed out of her way. But when she started making them claims to the doctors and talking about abuse and on not feeding her and how we have her, and I was like, whoa, okay, so now she's affecting my livelihood. Something's got to be done. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining me. Joining us. They are stuck in their ways, right, honey? They are stuck in their ways. Yep. Thank you, Penny. Lisa. Thank you. Pinned. My website is pinned. That itself, love is so beautiful. Yes, that's it. Self-love is so beautiful. Yes. And it's primary. I don't care what you've been taught. I don't care what your ancestors taught you about loving people because they're your elders. I mean, not loving them, of course, love them, but you know, just taking 20 pounds of crap from people because they're your family or because they're your parents or whatever the case may be. Your emotional wellness is important and it's primary. In order for you to even take care of them properly, you need to have yourself together. So I believe if you find yourself in a place where you are unable to cope with an elderly loved one, the best thing you can do for them is put them in a place where people are able to cope with them, and then you make sure you keep that constant contact going with them. You know, because you don't want to leave people in nursing homes. You know what the nursing homes do. If you're not present, your parent is not getting a shower that day. So, you know, pick your battles, even if it comes to assisted living or something. Lynn Clark said, I felt so alone until now. There is such a great need for this topic. Yes, Lynn, and I promise you, I'm bringing this topic to you again with my wife and her full experience, you know, because she was willing to open up about it. That's why when you asked the question, I was like, you know, because I'm old now too. Sometimes they are just spoiled. The world definitely makes you feel guilty. Yes. And you don't need to feel guilty. It has a lot to do with them being spoiled, and it has a lot to do with them being very manipulative. For some reason, them old people are manipulative. What? Manipulative. Yeah, very manipulative. Being almost being difficult on purpose. You know, it seems that way. You know, but like I said, if you don't take it personal, then it doesn't affect you. I think when they start making calls or things start getting to where your livelihood could be affected by something. But if you can ignore it and just know that it's not your call, that you can't do anything. And sometimes that's hard when you even leave them alone, because when you don't leave them alone, then they say, okay, you're not feeding me and I didn't eat and I'm not, or they say it, they're not going to eat. My mother-in-law was like, well, I'm not eating for the rest of the week. Or like, oh God, you know, it was hard. And that's precisely my problem. I've sacrificed myself for so many years trying to make sure everyone else is happy. And now that I'm taking back my control, my life is hell. Right, 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 right. You have to take back your control, though. You have to. Despite what anybody says, you're not holding me to no generational curses. I'm not being held to a generational curse. I'm not. I'm not. Darlene says my mother-in-law died 2 years ago. 5 days before she died, she apologized to me. See, never too late. I still suffer from from family who thought it was me. My husband and our marriage suffered. I had to learn to stay away from his family, knowing they disliked me because I said she had to go. Oh, Darlene. That's trauma in and of itself when you don't even have your husband by your side. I mean, I'm sure he's by your side, but to not have the support of him, to think that, people, I had the same thing. Her mother would accuse me of stuff. And when I tell you, I love old women. Let me just tell y'all this. I love old people. Like, I was the type of person that would look at an old person and be like, oh my God, they're so cute. I used to love even a grumpy old man that people be like, oh, he's mean. I'm like, oh, but he's adorable because they're so grumpy and old and they're so cute with their little cotton hair. And I used to love it. Right? But after my experience with a mother, I started looking at every old person like they probably mean. Like, I don't even have that same outlook. You know what I mean? But her family started believing her mother. And then they was against my wife. Like, maybe you should listen to what her mother said, to what our mother's saying. Like, wait, my wife is here with her 24/7. I'm never left with her. So it was crazy. It was crazy. Hold on, guys. Hi, Mom. Can I call you back? Yeah. Is everything okay? Yeah, I just giving you an update on the funeral. On the funeral? Okay. Okay. I'll call you back. Okay, all right. Love you. Bye. Yeah, that's terrible that you had to go through that, Darlene. Dion Williams says, y'all, this conversation is making me cry. Oh, I'm thinking of my own mother and what I've been through as her caregiver. It's difficult. You are not alone. We are here with you. Who knew that mostly, like, a lot of us are having this experience? It's all difficult, but she talked to me before death and she apologized to me. I have to get off, guys. I'm not feeling well. Oh, Penny, no problem, honey. I love you. Oh, hold on, guys. Penny, thank you. Penny had to leave. She's not feeling well. Yeah. And I guess, you know what? When they apologize, I wonder. You know what I wonder, Dion, when she apologized, because a few people said that their loved one apologized at the end. How did that make you feel? Did it make? Because I'm thinking, like, did it make you feel like they was doing it on purpose and they knew all along? Because why would they apologize? Or did it give you some reprieve, as if they really recognize what they've done? Oh, wow. Thank you, Anitra, for becoming a subscriber. I didn't see that because, hold on. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, thank you, Anetra. I really appreciate it. Thanks for becoming a subscriber. Because I'm on YouTube and I don't know how to look at face at the same time to see if anybody's becoming a subscriber or even if they're sending me stars. I got to get my techie Darnell to help me with that. But yeah. So I want to know, how did that make you feel? How did it make you guys feel when they apologized? Like, did that bring any resentment? Like, okay, so you knew this all along, or did it really give you some reprieve, and relief? Good afternoon, Debbie. Thank you for joining us. Darlene Thomas, that's the thing, says Samantha. If they felt like you were not doing a great job, they should have taken her to live with them. Samantha, girl, you done said a word. Meanwhile, nobody else steps in. Ain't that some crap? Nobody else steps in. They got so much to say, but nobody steps in. I have a friend that's going through that also. What? What, baby?
I'm going to say something to Diane.
Oh, well, come and verbally say it to her then. To Dion, you mean?
Dion, yeah.
As far, wait, Darlene?
Darlene, yeah.
Darlene is her mother-in-law died 2 years ago. And that's when she said, this is the one that suffered with the family and everything. And then Dion just said, conversation be making me cry. Think of her own mother that she's been through as a caregiver is difficult. But she talked to me before she died and she apologized. Is that what you want to go through?
Yeah. That makes me think of It chokes me up.
Aw, my baby so sensitive.
This is hard.
Supposed to be a stud. Suck it up, buttercup. No.
Dion, it's very hard. It's crazy because when they apologize to you, it's like you don't even want that apology because you did it from your heart. You took care of them from your heart, from your soul. You used your soul to take care of them. And there's a part of you that almost wished, or maybe not you, but I know. Yeah, my kid.
Okay, baby.
I'm sorry,
my
guys.
baby's getting emotional. She's so sensitive. As hard as she look, right?
Stop.
She's a mush. It's my baby.
No, this is a serious.
Yeah, it is. It is
serious topic.
I know.
It's like
it's painful.
It is very painful because you almost wish they weren't around, and then for those times that you wish that, when it does happen, it kills you. It breaks you. Yeah. It sucks all the energy out of you. So I feel your pain.
Yeah. So you're basically answering that question when I asked, how does it make you feel when they apologize?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not only that, because it made her sad. It made her almost cry, she said, because she apologized. But that apology even hurts more because it's like, when your mom apologized to you, it's like I did it from my heart. When no one else stepped up, right, in your family, and they were pointing fingers at you like you could do better, you could do better. I know that made you feel really hard, really bad. Dion.
Well, Dion said that, and then Samantha said, "Yeah, Darlene Thomas. That's the thing. If they felt like you weren't doing a great job, they should have stepped up."
Absolutely.
And nobody steps up.
Nobody does, because it's not easy.
And nobody wants that burden.
It's not easy because we don't learn. No one teaches you. First of all, no one teaches you to be a mother, and you have kids, and you end up messing them up for whatever reason, or doing really good. Your first one you mess up, the second one you do better, right? That's what we
all have our guinea pig children at firstborn.
And with parents is the same. We don't know how to become that caregiver, although we think we can handle it. I know I thought I could handle it, but honestly, I couldn't. And I was always there for my parents. It was easy when my dad died because I helped with everything. I helped with everything.
I told them you were the only one flying back and forth.
Only one going back and forth. I picked up and left after my dad died. My mother was alone in the projects. I figured I can't leave you there. Pandemic hit. I can't leave you there alone. You're falling. People, you could get mugged because I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and my mom was still there,
and she didn't want to leave.
And she didn't want to leave, and I had to take her out of there. And I'm thinking I'm doing the best thing for her, and I thought I did, and I still believe I did. But in the long run, it made it worse because that made her transition so even harder for her, because she lost everything she understood, everything she knew, her neighbors, her friends, her environment, her independence, all of that. And she blamed all of that on me. And that's what she was throwing at me. All that hate, all that anger that she felt because she lost everything, she blamed it on me. And then when that day comes when she leaves, a part of me, I'm fortunate, will be relieved, but a part of me will definitely miss her because I love my mom. That's all I just wanted to say.
Oh, thank you, honey.
I felt for that.
I know. You know how many people is on here that was going through that? We have got to do another video on that, just specifically for that topic, if you can handle it.
I don't know.
I know, but we have to, baby, because you know what? Because we've been through it, right? And we're somewhat, like when your mom comes back, I told him, I said, we'll be better because we're different people now. Now we know what to expect. Before it was blindsided, but now we know. So since we've been through it and we know what kind of healing, we know the different stages, we can help people with that, because There's a few people out here that's dealing with that now, and they're feeling guilty about their feelings.
It is because, you know, our culture, because I see a lot of people of the same culture, we don't believe in dropping them off at a
Nursing home or some
at
kind
a
of
nursing
facility.
home. I never believed in that. I still don't believe in that unless they have dementia. You really can't take care of them.
Right.
That's a different situation, you know. But it's really hard, you guys. It's not easy. And if anybody says it's easy, they had a good one. Because, you know, I see somebody
Right.
talking about their grandmother. My grandmother wasn't so difficult. She died at 76. At least I don't remember her being as difficult as my mother. But
I remember both my grandmas being difficult, but not for me, but for my mom.
Right,
My mom.
right.
That's why I'm changing myself now. I'm like, if any of that is in me, I have to get rid of it before I get old because I don't want to be pinched.
You're not, you know, I don't know. Pinched.
I don't want to be pinched as an elderly. You know?
Okay, I'm not coming back in here. Y'all made me almost cry. I go. Can't be doing that.
Thank you, honey. I love you. I appreciate you. Poor Tinga Tink.
I'm gonna go blow my nose.
Blow your nose, honey. Poor thing, you. I done got my wife up in here crying and whatnot. My husband is 74 and I'm 67, and I see him acting evil like his mom. Is this hereditary behavior? I hope not, because my wife shows one sign of that, off to the daggone races she goes. I'm not doing it. I be looking at my wife like, you better, don't you show any signs like this, because this is a pre-warning. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, Darlene, that's terrible. Oh my God. And you know what? So your husband is 74. Yeah. It's hard work being a caregiver. Nobody really thinks it's about the caregiver. It's absolutely about the caregiver. Nobody thinks of the abuse and the trauma that they go through. Like I said, if somebody is diagnosed with something, or you know that they really lost their mind, that's easy. You know, even though it's hard, which is why people put dementia, you have to go in a facility, because it's hard for people to deal with that. But I'm just saying the emotional burden is easier. But when you're dealing with somebody and they're not even, you know, it's just, they're just being difficult and evil. It appears that, I don't know. This is hard. You're right on. I see that with my parents. Lord, see, my thing is this: just in case it's hereditary, I don't think it is, because, you know, being mean is a learned behavior, you know. And if you've been raised by mean parents, or not even, because sometimes it's not even that you was raised by mean parents, but the parents that weren't too nurturing, you know, then chances are you have subconsciously took on that behavior, and it got into the back door somewhere, and it'll manifest in your life later on. So if you have been raised by parents that weren't the kindest in the world, if I were you, I would do some pre-work like what I'm doing. And my parents are nice. My mom is very nice. She was a little bit strict, but she was very nice for the most part, and she's always been loving and kind. But I know how my grandmother was, you know. And it's not even about that. It's about me just wanting to be the best me ever anyway. So I practice kindness so it can become a habit. You know what I mean? And it has become a habit for the most part of my life. I practice kindness. I practice forgiveness. I practice, you know, just being nice and not being snappy. It's that snappy stuff too. Just got to do a lot of work. Lena, now, Lena, what'd you say? LOL, Lena, you are nice now. Listen, I'm a bulletproof myself. I'm sorry, love. Yeah, a lot of us have went through it. Oh, Darnell, you went through that too. Samantha, I can't see your emoji on YouTube, but I know you're sending stuff. Probably hearts and good stuff. That's truly my birth name. Jeez. Samantha, thanks for sending stars. Thank you. I know that was a little while ago. Oh, no, I believe you. Yeah. That's a beautiful name. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Gloria. That was that was 15 minutes ago. I apologize. Went to school with guy. Last name was Love. Sean Love. Oh, I have a friend that's named Shawnee Love. Let me get to these comments real quick. I took care of, Darnell says, I took care of my great grandmother who my whole teenage years deprived me of doing a lot of things in my teen years. Mind you, this was a lady who verbally abused me my whole life. I saw it in her eyes. She had regret, but she never apologized. Jeez Louise. Sorry about that, Darnell. I know you're through it, but I'm just saying the things that we go through, Lord. Then we are left to try to pick up the pieces as a result of emotional abuse. Right. Counseling, big time, needed. I tell people all the time, I love the elderly and the babies. Me too. It's the ones in the middle at times that get on my nerves. Yes. And then, you know, I absolutely love elderly people. I love babies. I love elderly, you know. But I got to be honest. After having my experience, when I look at elderly now, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's adorable. But not say she's probably a mean old bat, you know, because of my experience. I'm like, how many of the elderly people I misjudged? Feel better soon, Penny. Yeah. Thank you. Was more because of hurt. Oops, wait. It was more because of hurt because it caused conflict with my 5 siblings. But I hugged her and told her it was okay, that I would carry out her plans. That's good. That's good. Thank you, Lisa. And you saw my wife, she got all emotional. She says that, you know, when her mother finally does transition, it will be a relief, but also is going to be hurtful for her, you know, and only because of the trauma and just how unhappy her mother is right now. You know, it's like you don't want them to suffer anymore. Oh, thank you, Samantha, for the stars. When she said sorry in the end, my soul was finally at peace. I knew I was good to her. I never even defended myself when she disrespected me. Yes, Darlene, that's my wife. My wife never defended herself. My wife defended me, but she never defended herself against the abuse. She never did. Lonnie, yeah. Samantha, thank you for the stars. This is true. Lonnie has me in tears. I appreciate you understanding me. I never talked to anyone about this. Well, Darlene, stay tuned, honey, because I plan on getting my wife and getting her on board with having a full-blown discussion about this. And she's probably going to cry a lot because this hits really close to home. But I think when we speak about elderly abuse, it's a common topic, and it kind of purifies our soul if we're able to get it out, especially know that other people are also dealing with it, even though we don't want people to deal with it, but it's comforting to know that we're not in this by ourselves. Okay. So Kathy says, my mother was mean her entire life. Geez, and thank you for joining me, Kathy. And it got worse as she got older. She was so manipulative and everything had to be about her. She did some very mean things to me and my daughter, and my granddaughter witnessed it. I had to seek therapy. I eventually apologized to her for stating I was so sorry. I was sorry if we put you in a position to treat us that way. Oh my gosh. Woo. So you blamed yourself. Wow. I forgave her. She died and never apologized. I didn't have anything to do with her afterwards. She died 3 years later. I did not harbor any guilt. Thank God you didn't. Thank God you didn't. Thank you so much for sharing that. So this is going on Lonnie's conversation. I moved my mother as well a year ago to be closer to siblings who didn't come help. Ain't that the truth? Oh, and Starlina, thank you for joining us. I feel you, Lonnie. What's the purpose of the apology when you did all you can do without expecting anything in return but love and respect? I feel when you do it from your heart, you have peace regardless of their actions. Right, you do. We do. And my wife has gotten through her pain because she went through the guilt of her mother feeling that way. And just like with the other person, Kathy, how she felt remorse and guilt about, like she went through all of those emotions. Starlene said, I'm taking care of my 94-year-old grandmother now. It's hard. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it is. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't intend for this to go this way, but I guess God had plans for all of us to connect and unite on this topic. Sometimes it's not the person you're taking care of that mistreat you. It's the family members that don't want the responsibility of taking care of the sick family members that will mistreat you, right? And accuse you and have all this talk and all this advice, and then they accuse you and make it even harder. So you end up feeling like you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. Poor Tink Tink. I know, right? My baby was like, stop it. Yeah. It's hard caring for a loved one. Yes, it is. Not off to the races. Yes, Nicole. I keep telling her. I'm like, listen, babe. I mean, love you and all, but one small move, you're out of here. Not doing it. Shoot, not doing it. I promised myself that I wasn't going to be the kind of mother that my mother was to me. Yeah, well, Anetra, in order for that not to happen, you have to start working on yourself now. I think that all of that meanness is a result of unhealed trauma. And you know why I say that? Because in the experience that I had with her mother, that we both had with her mother, she always brought up what she went through in her past. She always brought up her past pain from when she was 5 years old, just all the bad stuff. And she would dwell on it so bad that she'll get so depressed about it. So that's all the result of unhealed trauma. So it's a way for you to not do that. And think about this. I'm always talking about energy, guys, right? Energy expands when what you resist persists. So when I say what you resist persists, that means that with the thing that you're resisting, you're giving a lot of your energy to. And so the thing that you're resisting, you're actually manifesting. That's what persisting means. So if you don't want to be like your parents and you think that you're nothing like them, because trust me, they have a way of getting their ways into your back door, dumpster back there. You don't even know it exists until you become 80 and now you become difficult. You work on yourself now, self-reflect now, try being the best you can be now. Stop judging people now. Try to heal your childhood trauma, or whatever emotional blocks that you have in your body now. Try to do all that now and get all of it out so that way it won't manifest when you're old, and when you're at an old age and needing help. Now, that's not guaranteed as a spiritual human psychology expert, speaking from a metaphysical point of view. I think that's the way to go, and I think it will work. But I'm not a medical doctor, guys. I'm just giving you some psychological advice. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. It was much needed. Hey, Annette. Yeah. So, guys, I think I have to call it a day now. It's been about 2 hours. I didn't expect it to be 2 hours, but I'm happy it was. Let me see what she has to say. Samantha says, this is much needed conversation. A lot of people in this situation cannot openly talk about it with other family members and siblings without getting explosive and physical. Right, Samantha, thank you. Thank you for that, because we had no idea we were even going to fall into this conversation, and it brought us all together. So we need a safe space to speak about things like this. So this week is Monday. I'm definitely creating a video about this, and I'm going to let you guys know when I'm going to be going live with my wife, because this was more traumatic for her than it was for me. I'm not dealing with this right now. My mother is very loving. My mother is everything to me. And so I haven't had that experience, but my wife has. Actually, we both have. So thank you for joining me in this conversation, guys. I really appreciate it. But clearly, it's a much needed conversation. Trisha said, my mother thought about her younger years in life as well. She really didn't have a childhood, marrying at a young age. It's sad, right? And people that age, they had it so hard. They had it so hard. I believe we all needed this. I believe so too, Nicole, and thank you for joining me. Thanks. You're welcome, Sheila. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lena, for allowing this topic conversation. Oh my gosh, I'm happy. I'm happy that we came together in this because, man, we couldn't tell nobody about that experience. I mean, I told my family. She couldn't really open up to her family now that her brother has her mother, because she left out of here with a bang and was like, I'm going to him. And she finally got with him. He's going through it, but he's a man. So men and their emotions are different. They're not so personal when it comes to men. You see what I'm saying? So he handles it a lot better, but oh my gosh, she's putting him through the ringer, but it's not affecting him the way it affected her daughter, because she was the one who was there for him. And now that her mother's with her brother, it's more difficult for my wife because she wanted to be the one to take care of her to her own, till her transitioning point. But it turns out that might not be that way. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Thank you, Samantha. I appreciate you more. Love this convo. Thank you, Darnell. Love you, buddy. You're welcome, Dion. Oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it. But he gets to see what his sister was dealing with. Honey, Nicole, before we leave, y'all, he was believing those phone calls that she would make to him when we weren't looking and say, Lanita and Lena, da 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 da. And he would actually accuse her of that and say, you need to maybe, the wife needs to come to terms with some stuff. She needs to admit what she's done to mommy. I'm like, I wouldn't hurt a freaking fly. I'm a lover of everything. My daughters are 27 and I still kiss their arms and their hands. Like, I love on family. Now that he's dealing with it, he can kind of see what's going on. He can see what's going on because he's getting a dose of what his sister was dealing with. Yeah. And the family's seeing it too, also. This is touching when I asked, this is touching what I asked you to speak about toxic family members. I enjoyed this live. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Catherine. You're welcome, Dana. I told you about Crespo. We appreciate your personal experience. Oh, Samantha, thank you. Thanks, Lena. Says Darnell, you will never know how much I needed this. No one will ever understand the pain I've gone through. Darlene, we feel you in that pain, and we do know how much you needed to, because we didn't know. My wife didn't know how much she needed to release that until she got on this live and showed her and became transparent. She's never publicly talked about this, ever. So she needed this as well. So I thank you guys for sharing your experience with us. I thank you for joining me on this live. I thank you so much. And I'll be letting you guys know when I go live again. Okay. So see you guys in my next video. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, fantastic day. And thank you so much. Oh, one more. I don't want to miss anybody. So many people have experienced this. I feel I've been led to some people who understand after my experience. Thank you all. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this video now. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.